Model Y learns a new trick. We have another Cybertruck tidbit from Elon. Elon gives us another glimpse at future FSD beta functionality, and FSD Beta 9 shows incredible detection abilities. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 661 for the week of July 18th, 2021. We start this week's show with news from Inside EVs that the Model Y here in the US has received a feature that, well, we really never thought it would. A while back, when asked if Model 3 would ever get bioweapon defense mode, Elon said that the enormous HEPA filter that was the cornerstone of the feature wouldn't fit the vehicle, and that it would eat up most of the already tiny frunk. However, we then began to see Model Ys rolling off the assembly line in China equipped with the filter and enabling the feature. It would appear that this now is the case here in the US as of this month, as a July built Model Y from Fremont has been documented as having the feature. This is another interesting feature creep down the line from the flagship vehicles. Forget having the room, I simply thought they'd never do this, as it's one more thing that provides a touch of differentiation between the bigger, more expensive vehicles. So, if you're looking to purchase a Model Y from here on out, know that you've got one more thing coming that you may not have expected. Tidbit number 2 comes from Elon's Twitter feed, where we saw him responding to a tweet about Cybertruck's success, or possibly lack thereof. The initial tweet saw Tesla owners online clapping back on an article saying that Cybertruck will be Tesla's first flop as a company. Elon responded saying, quote, "To be frank, there is always some chance that Cybertruck will flop, because it's so unlike anything else. I don't care. I love it so much even if others don't. Other trucks look like copies of the same thing, but Cybertruck looks like it was made by aliens from the future," end quote. When pressed if there was any new info or pics, he responded, quote, "In the end, we kept production design almost exactly the same as show car. Just some small tweaks here and there to make it slightly better. No door handles. Car recognizes you and opens door. Having all four wheels steer is amazing for nimble handling and tight turns," end quote. While we'd heard about all-wheel steering previously, I don't know that we'd heard about there being absolutely no door handles before. The prototype sported Model S style door handles that's extended out on approach. This will be interesting to see. I hope that the functionality is more of a pop open slightly situation than it is with the Model X, where the door opens fully. This is for two reasons. Firstly, Model X has been known to have issues with these doors when the mechanism has been in use a while. It's an immense amount of stress on a little piece in the door that is pushed out to open the door, and the piece or the assembly can fail. If you're just popping the door a bit, this isn't nearly as much of an issue. Secondly, again with Model X, it's that the door can pop open at an inopportune time as you approach, allowing it to be caught and removed by a passing vehicle if parked on a road. Another problem that only a slight pop would solve. The other bit of this that is interesting is, what about passengers? Looking forward to seeing how passenger doors work, or if they're simply somehow controlled by the driver. No matter what, reservation holders are looking forward to that final event when the trucks begin to hit the road. Tidbit number 3 is a quick hitter again with Elon responding to a tweet. After last episode's production cutoff, Elon additionally added to the thread talking about what full self-driving Beta 9 was capable of, saying that the vehicles will eventually respond to emergency vehicles with lights and sirens. Kim Paquette responded on Twitter saying, quote, "Our cars can hear?" end quote. To which Elon responded saying, quote, "Not yet, but they will. It's needed for full self-driving," end quote. Honestly, not probably a huge revelation, but if you're like me, probably something you'd not thought of until now. And lastly, another quick hitter from the Earl of Frunk Puppy at 28 Delays Later on Twitter. He posted a screenshot of the full self-driving 9 beta UI saying, quote, "I think FSD beta sees the world just fine," end quote. And I'd have to say, I totally agree. The screen renders a boulevard beautifully along with its associated traffic lights, complete with all lanes, and counting here, it appears to be 24 vehicles, including his own as well. Boy, we've come a long way from my Model S 85D that barely can display 3 vehicles on screen in addition to mine. Just mind-blowing that A, it can render all that in real time, and B, that it is properly individually detecting all these vehicles and the street information. Cannot wait to see what the final rendition of the software that gets released to the public ends up looking like. That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to all my patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits. And as always, I have a special shout out to all the super patrons supporting the show at the $10 plus level. They are Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, Dorian Steve Guberman, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Todd Sullivan, Zortec LED Canada, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, Vicky Johnston, Nathan Garza, Ed Patterman, Sunil Joseph, and Brad Lettner. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. Until next week, keep it charged and hit the road.